way. Let's get
I
that.
know. Let me get back on my. All right.
Come on now. You my
I'm
Snoop
ready.
Dogg. I'm your Tupac. America's Most Wanted. We gotta. What side?
Right,
Come
let me get
on.
back in character.
Get back to character now. All right. So about a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, where we had a conversation that I said, "Okay, I gotta do a show about this because it's not talked about." And I don't know if people see when I, in the thumbnail, you see where it says the Urkel effect. We were talking about in this space, and you hear it all the time, Black women want bad boys, and they get a Russell Wilson, but they really want the whatever, yeah, Future. I forgot his name. He's so unimportant to me. And yesterday I was on a panel. Shout out Omawale, who's my dear heart. I love him to death. If y'all don't know nothing about him, pull him up. Content is amazing. Omawale's in the chat. And it's Africa. That's that Negro right there. So I was on his live yesterday, and there's a guy on there that says, "Y'all Black women, all you want is drug dealers." I said, well, the average drug dealer actually makes less than $25K a year. So the drug dealers are really just nickel bag guys. So, but that is the narrative that I think men have of women, that we just want bad boys, and women just wants the thug dealers, and the 1% of Black men. And I can tell you that a lot of us do. Yeah, a lot of us do. But that's not all of us. And that's definitely not me. And I don't think that was Kay. So in our conversation, we was like, well, that's not us. And the type of women that we are not getting talked about. So the Urkel effect. Let me bring up something real quick. And I'm just doing this not to, art does imitate life. I always kind of compare stuff because art does imitate life. So we're going to take Family Matters, Urkel. Let's talk about that man. Oh, let's see. Okay, Urkel effect. So, I'm going to pair Urkel. We're going to say that he is usually like the good guy, right? And he wanted Laura. And what I hear a lot of times is like, yeah, Urkel, a little clumsy, a little goofy, get it. But he was in essence a good guy. He was a smart guy, was in love with a woman, would have been faithful to her, whatever. But she overlooked him. And a lot of us get overlooked, true. And, but we always forget about the Myra. Oh, Myra Boutros Monkhouse. You remember her name? The Myra. Yeah, man, you do get overlooked. And you get overlooked by the women that you want because they might want bad guys. They might want the thugs. They might want the alpha man, the man with money, the man on TV, the football player, the rap star. Got it. They might want that. But that's not all of us. And for the Myras that want the Urkels, but you guys want the Lauras, you want the thoughts, you want the IG models, you want the girl with the big butt and the big tits, you want the girl that might, the cheerleader, the whole that you do want them. And women like the Myras and women like me, especially as high school, some college that got overlooked. And I think, Kay, you even talked about that as well, too. So go ahead. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've been hearing that argument that, oh, women don't want, the good guy. They want the thug and they want the bad guy and they want this and that. I've been hearing that for as long as I can remember. Even before social media days, like this was just a narrative that I think is extremely popular. But I know for a fact, I know through experience, I know that there are girls, women who like those guys. But a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of time, those men or those boys, if we're talking about in like high school or something, aren't checking for those girls. They're looking for the most popular, the most beautiful, the most like, made up, the most, out outgoing, out there type of person that they can find. And sure enough, those women might not like the Urkels, but
Mhm.
but it's like, okay, Urkel, like, why are you ignoring all of the people in your same science class that do like you? I think it's the same exact thing, like when people say women only like bad boys. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, well, the average man, like, who considers himself low key or nerdy, a lot of times they want, like you said, the IG model types. And it's like, okay, those IG model types might not want you, but that doesn't mean, okay, get mad at all women and say they only like bad boys. No, the women you're chasing after might just not like you.
Right.
They might like bad boys or whatever. But I think there's someone out there for everybody. It's just like you have to be realistic with yourself and say, you know what? Who likes me and what will be the best decision that I can make? I think a lot of people live in la la land and they just want something based on, I don't know, what's popular or societal standards.
Yeah. So do you think that the saying is true? Like people always want what they can't have? Does that play a role in it, or is that true?
You know what? I think to an extent, it could be that concept a little bit, but
Mhm.
sometimes I think that people naturally seek like balance. Like if someone is really low key or maybe they're kind of, shy, they might be really attracted to someone who has the characteristics that they don't. Like the most popular person, or you know what I'm saying, that type of
Mhm.
thing. Somebody who is really like, shows off their beauty or their talents or is in the public eye or whatever. So I think people sometimes are seeking balance. Uh, because I also know that a lot of those, you know, people who might not live lives that are on the up and up and who might be, into certain things, or people who might be those athletes in high school and whatnot, often look at that girl that's just like in the corner with her books and is like, oh, okay. So I think sometimes like people just seek the opposite kind of what they are to get that balance.
Oh, so the whole opposite attract thing.
Yeah, to an extent.
Mhm.
To an extent.
Mhm.
I don't want to fully back that opposites attract thing because there are some, aspects that I don't think it's feasible to be opposite about. But
Yeah.
in terms of certain things, yeah. Like I think,
Yeah. There's a comment I got on there. It says, "Would any of you want an Urkel?" So the type of guys well, first let's talk about you. And when we had this conversation,
uh-huh.
he was like, well, yeah, I kind of was like the Myra. I mean, I was a cute girl, but I was kind of into things that would be considered quote unquote nerdy. So
Oh, yeah.
what was that? And then who were you attracted to in high school and college? Was it the athletes? Was it the bad boy? And when I say bad boy,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
not
Right.
someone that do a kick though,
Right.
but someone that, that ladies love and,
Yeah.
out there kind of, kind of promiscuous, but playboy.
So in middle school and high school, like I was definitely a unique person. I was always, I was in like honors classes and stuff like a lot of my life. And I, when you get in that group, you're like in that group. And that's how people
Mhm.
kind of identify you in the social, whatever of elementary school and high school. So, and it's weird because I was a cheerleader and I was cheer captain. So like people knew who I was because I was cheer captain. I was on the cheer team. Sports were really big in my high school.
Mhm.
And but I was still like just kind of like that cool, quirky, weird type of girl. Like, yeah. So the types of people that I was into back then, I would say we're like the more low-key ones, but we always just ended up being just such good friends. Like, and I always used to be like, what? And then I always saw the girls that they liked, and I was like, she doesn't even like you. Like, so it was definitely like a Myra and Laura situation.
Right.
But the boys like in high school that were noticing me were, you know, the athletes or the ones that were like the Playboy types and all of this type of stuff. And it was, I always just thought it was really weird. Like even in my adult life, you know, that same thing has kind of happened like before, you know, in college, after undergrad. And I've always found it very interesting because you'll be talking to your friend that you might like or have like some crush on, and he's just like a low key type of guy. And he'll be talking, he'll like show you the girl he's after, and it's like a Nicki Minaj, Cardi B type, which, okay, fine. Nothing wrong with it, not judging. But then he's all like, man, you know, she's not responding when I text. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think sometimes people don't really take a look at it from a different point of view. I mean, and that goes both ways, but in terms of what we're talking about, yeah, I was into the low key dudes before. Oh my God.
Okay, you were cute in high school. How old were you here?
Like, I want to say I was 16. Adorable. Yeah. You know what?
Just adorable.
I was so weird. I was a weirdo. I was weird though. Like, I was quirky. And
did you have roaches then?
No, like my pet roaches. See, like I've always kind of been on some other stuff. You know what I mean? I just got the pet roaches this year. Okay. But yeah, like, I mean, in high school, it's not that people didn't find me cute. It's just that they thought that I was just kind of like a homegirl. I always used to make this joke, like in college or like right after college, you know. I always made this joke, like, you know, I'm thinking I'm like on a date with somebody that I like. Meanwhile, they're looking at me as their little sister, and we end up just bobbing our heads to Wu-Tang on the couch. Like, and it's just like, okay. Yeah. So I definitely know about that concept where those low-key dudes often, sometimes in my experience, like the way more outgoing, less quirky types of girls or women.
And I understand that because I think a lot of people probably don't know that I am a whole nerd. So, and even like what I like, legit a whole nerd. Like my career is I build computers. I'm a techie. So if you had a problem with your computer, I can fix it and I can build a computer. So I don't think a lot of people understand like how nerd I am, but I, you know, legit. But yeah, when I was in school, I got looked over. No one wanted to date me. I was considered like the homeboy.
Yeah.
Because I was the cool girl. Again, I've always say I hung out with brothers. Well, I was like a guy. So I could talk to guys. I knew about sports. You know, I love football. And so I was one of the homegirls, but never looked at as someone that was dateable.
Right.
In college, I had to learn how to walk in heels because I never did. I always wore jogging pants, basketball shorts. So I had to learn how to walk in heels in my 20s because I never knew how. I didn't have a woman to teach me how to, you know, be a little bit more feminine. I was just always kind of like one of the guys. I didn't get asked for prom.
I didn't even go to prom.
You didn't go to prom? No one asked me to prom. Like, it's really sad. Now that I think about it, I was like, man, I was a little dusty.
Dusty. The way you said
dusty. Like, I get it. Yeah. I totally get it when we're like, you know, when guys are like, man, you know, I was a good guy and I got overlooked by this type of guy. And I was like, I get it because I was overlooked too. You know, I didn't start wearing like a little lipstick, a little gloss. I was probably like 25, 26. I say that I'm a late bloomer, but this is how late that I was. Wasn't doing my hair. And, you know, I was always Let me see. I put you on Blaze. I put myself on Blaze too. That's fine. So this is my fresh. I was in ROTC. I told you I like guns. Well, I was in ROTC. This is my freshman year. I think I was like 14. But again, I always had my weight problems. So I've always struggled with trying to lose weight, gain weight. So I was always,
you are
just
so
there.
pretty. So
well,
pretty.
That's nice of you.
Like, see, but this is the thing though. Look how cute. And
not a nobody looked my little way.
Do you see the thing though? Like, do you see why? Like, this is the Myra thing.
This was Myra was
beautiful.
And not a one, like I said, no one asked me to prom, and I was like, sorry, I can't get back then was pagers. My friends was getting my friends was getting the little "I love you" text. What was the 143s back in the day? I just got that from my grandma. So I get it, right? So, I guess so it is the Myra effect where women get overlooked too. And I don't want men to think that you're just exclusively, selected by, you not getting any play, or this is, women, y'all get all the penis and all the dick come to y'all. And I'm like, no. And then again, the men that are saying this, I sometimes or would, kind of push back and be like, I'm sure women are attracted to you and want you. You just don't want them.
You don't want them.
You don't want them. It's not you. You can be a great guy and say, yeah, y'all don't want the good men. No, a lot of us do. But the women that want you, you don't want them. Exactly. You don't want the Myra. You want the Laura. And again, it's, is it because you want what you can't have? So I thought about this too, and I want to put this up because there were memes, obviously, about it where I was saying it was kind of sad a little bit with the memes. And so this is where it kind of started because I saw a lot of men mimicking this and saying, oh, well, yeah, back then you was thin and skinny, but you didn't want me. But now look at me, the Stefano Kale, handsome, and she's kind of picked up some weight. And a lot of men have this. And they use this to kind of be like, you should have got me then, you should have got me there. And now don't nobody want you. You've hit the wall. You've had a child. You've gained weight. All sucks for you. And I'm like, well, you know what? Guess who also blossomed to be nice looking women?
The one you looked right over.
The one you looked right over.
Exactly.
Let me have a petty moment. Because I just came from my homecoming a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because there was a person that a couple guys that I saw that I used to have a crush on in college. But again, couldn't even get a hug. I was like, yeah, what up, girl? Dap me up. I was like, I just get a dap. Okay.
A little dap. A little.
You don't want to hug the kid. Okay. But now they're good and married and stuff like that. Of course, they married the majorettes and all that, right? And so going this, and I've seen it with my reunion and going back and then looking at like the cool people, the cool girls and the cool guys that was just so fly. And now they about 400 pounds, bald. All the hair they got is on their back. This is the women. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling real Mike Jones. Like, back then you didn't want me, but now it's like, oh, Courtney, you're aging well. And I'm like, oh, didn't think that when I had 4 eyes when you called me that with my Coke bottle glasses on, did you? So I get it. There was another meme, let me see, that I saw. Steve straight on Laura now. So, it's sad. I get it. We all have those moments when we see someone that we wanted and didn't want us. They thought they was too good. And then we looking like, yeah. So those are moments. But still, this is just not directly for men. Women go through this as well, too.
Oh, yeah. Women
And
do.
I just really want to say that, guys, your struggles in this dating, marriage scene, the problems that you're having with women that you feel like are overlooking you for the Pookie and Ray Rays, a lot of us feel your pain because we do as well too. And these are two women right here that's letting you know, like, this is not exclusive to you guys. We've gone through this too, and this is what I like to call the Urkel effect.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this down. There was another one that I saw too, and I'll bring that up.
So, Courtney, what do you think about? Wait, go ahead and read that one, and then
with this one, you know, you got to stop chasing lore and realize Myra loves you unconditionally. Good morning, world.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it is. So, and look, I've always, and I think I've said this before, it's like, you know, I like who like me. Because for so long, and I think this is where I was getting it wrong, the guys that I liked could give two about me. And I would try my best for them to look at me, or to look at me in a certain type of way, or to, you know, for them to see me as I see myself. And quite frankly, I was wrong for doing that. I can't make nobody look at me, you know, and think that I'm worthy of a relationship if they don't. I can't make you, you know, be attracted to me. I can't make you be in a relationship with me. You know, so if you don't like me, move on.
Move around.
Move around, because somebody will. I hope so.
The little late, I hope so. I have a question for you, because
Go ahead.
As you were talking, I was like, and I was thinking, like, all right, you and I have both seen, whether it be comment sections, groups, wherever, we've seen people just dragging women who used to be this way, now they're this way, and it's like, that's what you get, because back when you didn't want it, now blah blah blah. We've seen this. In fact, I've seen types of comments under the exact memes that you just posted. So sometimes in my head, I'm like, is there some like pent up resentment for the girl who used to be, you know, the most popular girl in school, because she didn't want you back then? So now as a grown man, you're still holding on to some of that anger. Do you think that people do that? Like, they're still mad about something that may have happened a while back in terms of being looked over as like the regular guy, or the Urkel type, or the super smart, you know, low key dude? Like, do you think that those people who were like that, who were like how we were in high school, but the male version, do you think that some of them hold on to some resentment now for women in regards to that?
Absolutely. Yes. And I think that's a lot of, when we talk about red pill rage, I think that's trickled in there. It's going through life.
Trickled.
I mean, you can mix it in there. Yes, mix it.
There was a jam that was just completely broken.
Yeah,
and it rushed in there, I think.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely agree. There's a lot of people, men and women, that, you know, knew their potential at a younger age and wanted, you know, had good intentions for the person, and looked at it. I remember saying, there was this one guy in college. Oh, I want to call his name out so bad. But I just remember, you know, being a freshman and being 18 years old and meeting him. I was like, man, if he only gave me the chance, I'd be the best girlfriend ever in life. That nigga looked at me and was like, girl, go somewhere. I was like, but I could, you know. And then I got a little older. Then the nigga talking about, where you want to go out. No, I don't.
Like, ha 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 ha.
Right. And mad. And then I think I kind of went over him, and that was a little bit of my little red pill rage, because I did. I was like, yeah, I used to be in love with you. I would have sniffed your socks. I might have. I loved him that much. And did not look at me at time. And now all of a sudden, now that he don't have any hair except up his nose and ears, now all of a sudden, I'm like, man, no.
So it hurt. Is he now in the Laura position that they want to talk about?
Position.
Isn't it funny? Like, not
Ain't it
funny,
funny?
haha, but funny, peculiar, that so many people don't recognize it when it's from that angle. They just feel like they should be entitled to this, oh
Right.
my goodness, amazingly beautiful young woman, when they terrorized women in high school and college. And now, like, they're out of their prime, and now what?
Yeah. So yeah, so I get it, and that's why I can't even get necessarily just upset when men say that, like, because I understand, because
Yeah.
I battled that too, and I still kind of had to not work on my anger, because I don't say I'm angry, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, you know, so yeah, what's going on, TJ?
Hi, TJ.
Hey, I'm really enjoying this conversation, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes, I like those guys.
Um, it's funny because I'm like, yeah. As a matter of fact, you had me bring up my photo albums because they used to call me a chicken head
Oh,
in high school,
uh-huh.
and they called me Pippi Longstocking because I had freckles and I was pigeon toed, so I walked with my butt sticking up in the air. Oh yeah, I got teased all the time. Yeah, you know, they gave me no love in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because I went off to college. And again, not to mention the fact that we were poor, so I couldn't have the nicest clothes, of course.
Right.
And all the, KS knows them because it's an upper middle class high school and they were ruthless if
Mm-hmm.
you were poor. And I will never forget when I was in college, later part of college, I would go down to Oklahoma City. By this time, I had come into my own. And the Negroes were trying to holler at me, "Ooh, Terry, you were always so pretty in school." What?
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 Did they ever say that? Why?
No, no.
Mm-mm. Of
You
course
know,
not.
I was a cool girl too. The home girl, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
we talked about this the other night. My dad talked about, and my dad is 73. Talked about how the young
Yeah.
girls, I mean the women that were good women and this, that, and the other, he wasn't interested in them.